As an Indian, and now as a politician and a government minister, I've become rather concerned about the hype we're hearing about our own country. All this talk about India becoming a world leader, even the next superpower. In fact, the American publishers of my book, The Elephant, the Tiger, and the Cell Phone, added a gratuitous subtitle saying, India, the next 21st century power. And I just don't think that's what India is all about, or should be all about. Indeed, what worries me is, the entire notion of world leadership seems to me terribly archaic, redolent of James Bond movies and Kipling ballads. After all, what constitutes a world leader? If it's population, we are on course to top the charts. We will overtake China by 2034. Is it military strength? Well, we have the world's fourth largest army. Is it nuclear capacity? We know we have that. The Americans have even recognized it in an agreement.
To decode the pictures and my actions, join me in the session on day 23rd of the 30-day challenge. Lovingly yours, English. Welcome into the session of day 23. We are going to talk about, you can see this? Yes. What does this tell you? Yes, we are going to talk about one of the most important skills in language learning, and that is listening. We're going to decode what are the do's and don'ts and what are the best ways of listening in order to learn a language. Okay? Language learning is a very progressive skill because every moment you're progressing, knowing or unknowingly, you're receiving many things, you're discarding quite a few things, and that depends upon the command that you're given to your brain, what to retain, what not to. Now, when we talk about language learning, you already have commanded your brain to take the most of the target language, any form, reading, writing, speaking, or listening. Okay. Now, out of these 4 skills, there's one skill which is most important according to me, and people across the world, they vouch for that. Because we are living examples of that particular skill. From the time we take birth, and maybe nearly around when we grow until 2 years of age, we already have learned language. How did we do that? We didn't have teachers, we didn't have books, we didn't have YouTube videos. So how did we learn it? And without anybody's help. That's because we had been surrounded by the language 24/7, listening to that, receiving, yes? Based on the context, we understand, we grasp the language. We did that. And that's the same thing we need to do when we are talking about learning any foreign language once we are a little older. Yes, obviously it takes a little more time because when you're a baby, you're very fresh into receiving. You don't have any reservations. You are not prejudgmental. Yes, we are not. We weren't. But now there are many things, and discarding all of these, you need to focus, and that's pretty difficult. But then, if our goal is clear and decided, the journey it automatically makes its own way. Path breaking, and path breaking only when you have decided to learn it completely. And look at this picture. What does it tell you? You see, the person is doing like this. What? Now, when do we do this kind of a listening? We do this kind of listening when, we need to listen to, out of pressure we are listening to it. Not out of passion, not out of love. And learning has to be with love, because it's about developing ourselves, finding ourselves. Now look at this picture. What does it tell you? Easy, sitting back on your couch with your dear and near ones and watching Netflix. And during this COVID-19, Netflix has just shot up its popularity. Everybody across the world is on Netflix watching. In the second picture, nothing was happening. Everything was happening on the television. Yes, we were just passive watchers. We're just watching and enjoying. That is all we are doing. Yes, but look at this picture. What is it doing? The lady and the kids, what are they doing? They are into the activity. They are with the passion. They love what they are doing. They are active into it. They are involved into it. They are getting the most out of it. Now in this picture, you can see one person throwing a water balloon on another person. So who's doing the action here? The one who's throwing, and the other person is receiving it. Yes. So the doer and receiver Among the 4 skills, listening, reading, writing and speaking, there are 2 passive skills and 2 active skills. Active skills, you remember, active means where the action is happening, you are the doer. So which are those skills? Speaking, yes, you are speaking, and writing, because you are writing, you are thinking, you are putting your vocabulary to test. So these 2 are the active skills. And listening and reading are passive because somebody else is doing. You are just responding to it. Again, you're not hearing, you're responding to it. Okay. So we're going to talk today on how to make the passive listening skill into an active listening skill. Because everything is there. If listening is active, you learn language quickly. If listening is just being passive, just hearing, then it'll take a long number of years for us to learn a language. In the next 2 pictures, I would like all of you to look at the body language of the people who are talking, interacting with each other. Look at that, the way they're receiving and getting involved, interested, focused. Yes, nobody's sitting like because the moment you sit like this, the listening stops there. The moment you are, intently focused and receiving, listening happens there. Because we are not talking about hearing. There's a great deal of difference between hearing and listening. Hearing, now as I'm talking to you, I can hear the sound of the fan rotating, and I can hear the roosters making noise outside, the noise of the exhaust fan. Yes, we are hearing to so many different things at the same time. But what is the difference between hearing and listening? Hearing is just receiving. But what makes listening more interesting is you're hearing and you're reflecting on it, understanding, and then also returning your the comprehension back to the person who's talking to you. Yes, it's give and take going on. On day 22, we saw how to get into the progressive pathway of learning. The first one is getting our whys clear. The reason should be very clear. Only then you get motivated to move ahead with discipline. The second one, how. Yes, I had told you the 4 R's, the 2 acronyms. Which are they? RAR and IRC. Now combine all these 3, RAR, IRC and the 4 R's, and you get your house. Now we're going to combine these into listening and then check out how active our listening will become. Hearing is only one way. Listening is 2 ways. It's giving and taking. Okay, so that's a big difference between listening and hearing. So when we are into language learning, we ought to be listening constructively. Constructively means there should be something happening when you are listening to something. Not the first picture, but this one. The 2 pictures that you're seeing now on your screen. The first one, the way people are interacting with each other. And the second one, people listening to a person talking. So now we're going to look at how the why and the how is going to streamline our what. What are we going to do to reach our target, yes, of learning a foreign language? Now, let us first look into what is the difference between active and passive. Technically, what is the difference between active skill and passive skill? Look at the screen. So in the passive skill, there's no production or no usage as such. We only receive, decode and understand the message. Okay, this is very important. We receive, decode and understand, right? Now look at the active one. In active skill, we the application or production or usage. So we apply what we have learned, we produce, we use it. And another major difference is in active skills, you are in full control of, you know where your vehicle must go. So you are in control. But in passive, you are just sitting back and assisting with the progress. Yes. So what we learn from the passive skills get applied, get implemented, get used in the active skills. So it is actually testing your comprehension or understanding. So your active skills of speaking and writing will be as good as your listening and reading. So if your listening and reading was good, your speaking and writing will be very good. So both have to go hand in hand. It's not separate. You can't put separately listening. Okay, I did listening, so I learned the language. No, we cannot do that. The amount of concentration or focus you put it in listening, that will be directly proportional to the output when you're speaking or writing. Right? So let's fill the bucket of our brain with the information that we get from the videos or from movies or from books or any place. Yes, the ultimate objective is to fill it up, fill your the bucket of learning with proper information. Not just getting a filled bucket, but we are literally going to fill every mug or every drop of water with proper involvement and attention, complete focus to learning. So let us fill the buckets. Buckets are not bottomless. Okay, it's not that you just dump in everything. No, there has to be an order in the way we progress. Only then the bucket gets filled constructively and help us progress. Now we are going to match the 4 R's with the listening skill. Now 4 R's will make your passive listening skill into an active listening skill. Okay, remember the body language, very important when you listen to something. What is important? We need to focus. Our eyes, our ears, yes, closed. One activity. Multitasking doesn't take us anywhere. Multitasking doesn't go in a long run. It doesn't help. It has to be one task, do it the best possible manner, then move on to the next. Okay, so let's look at how the 4 R's will help in making our listening into active listening. And we are talking about in the context of learning a language. Learning, very important activity. It is not, we are not passing our time. Now, for today's session, I've just chosen one song and one speech of Shashi Tharoor. So, song is a beautiful, simple song which actually tells you about the emotions. So, I have listened to it 5 times, and just to let you know, I am going to show you my notes, how this hearing a song got me into active listening, how I could completely comprehend what the song is and how it has helped me in production, in my output. Okay, and then the other speech, which is it's a long one, and just by listening to it for a minute I could get hold of so much of information. So both these things, I'm just going to put a snapshot, a screenshot of my work onto your screen so that you understand how these 4 R's are going to supplement your hard work and make your listening into active listening, wherein your speaking improves. So the first R, receive. Whenever you listen to a video or a speech, just hear to it, hear, and with interest, and then just find out who is talking, what is he talking about, why is he talking, where is he talking, and how is he talking. Okay, so you just need to analyze the information. First, your mind needs basic information. Only if it is interesting, it will go further into it. Our brain is fortunately very, very intelligent. Yes, thank God. So once the first step is analyzing what you are listening. Why, what, when, where, how, who, all these things, right? So that's the first step. Look at this look at the screen. So that was your first step, wherein you are listening to analyze what is being said. Now the second time when you're listening, you're going to listen more about what are the words that the person has used in order to bring out what he wants to talk. Okay, how did he convey whatever he or she wanted to through the medium of song or speech or movie or anything. So in the second step, we are going to reserve the information or the vocabulary that we have received. Reserve to store it. And how are we going to store it? We are going to store it in cluster format, because yes, you remember that. So look at this part of my activity. So you can see the vocabulary. I have made use of a word map, and not the complete song, just a few, maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes of that particular song. And the vocabulary that I've got, I just put it across the the circle, wherein in the center I have written what is the song about, Never Enough. And this is a beautiful song, my dear viewers. Please listen to it. It'll completely, it'll fire you up. It'll inspire you to no end. It is a beautiful song it is from the movie The Greatest Showman. Okay, must watch movie. It'll fill you with gratitude. How to be thankful to now the context of the song is different, but then it'll fill you with the realization that how much happy you become when you are thankful to people. Yes, when you show your gratitude to them.
To hold my breath, let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. You set off a dream.
Now the second step, reserve, you need to listen twice. The first is to note down the information or the vocabulary, and you listen to it second time because you need to understand the meaning of the vocabulary, the way it is used, okay, from the context. So you need to look into the dictionary, check out for the meanings, and look at the context in which this person has used this particular word here, because every word has different connotations, different usages, and in every usage it is slight shades are different. That's why we have synonyms. Okay, so to be more effective in usage of vocabulary, we need to know the different shades of meaning of a particular word. So the third listening is for this particular purpose. Okay, so now we've done 3 times listening, receive, and then to reserve we have to do it twice, right? Now we're going to listen to the same thing the 4th time, and now when you listen to it 4th time, believe me, you will be completely pulled into it. You will get the thing absorbed into you. You'll understand it more because now you know the vocabulary, you know the meaning, you know the contextual meaning, you know the shades of the meaning of the vocabulary, and you also know the information. Now you see how you understand what you listen to. It makes a big difference. Now at this stage, you now know who's speaking, what is he speaking about, he or she, yes, what are they speaking about, and then you understood the vocabulary, the shades of its meanings, you have noted it down, yes, you have noted it down in clusters. Now the 4th time you're listening, now believe me, when you listen to the same thing 4th time, you are now absorbed into it. Everything is absorbed into you. If you are focusing properly, 100%, you remember, disciplined. So disciplined listening, you're not multitasking, you're not doing too many things. You're just listening because our focus is to learn. So we need to do it wholeheartedly, yes, wholesome. Now, so the 4th time you listen, and now you're ready to convert your listening into active listening. So all these steps, now the 4 times you've listened, now you become an active listener. Now you're going to look at how you're going to use the same information in your own style, in your style. And now when you listen to it for the 5th time, you are repeating. You're almost competing with the same person, with the same information in parallel to him. That's the strongest part of 5 times listening. The 5th time when you listen with the same focus, you are parallelly narrating it. You already know it. You're actually going now into more deeper. Okay, what are the meaning in between lines? Not just what they say, but what are they intending? So that is why the 5th listening is called, or I have called it as reciting. Reciting what you have learned, what you've understood. Try using the vocabulary that you've heard and the context in which they have been used by the speaker. Use them in a similar way into your daily life things or whichever way you want to. So once you end this process of the 5-step listening with the 4 R's, you are an active listener because you're making use of what you are listening to. Not just like a trash box wherein whatever comes you're just listening and just leaving it. Now here we are going to receive, recover and recite. Make use of it. Right. So now what you see on the screen is the similar activity which I did while listening to Dr. Shashi Tharoor's speech. And he is one of my favorite speakers. So the same thing, the same 4 R's I followed. I did 5 times listening and this is what was the output. Okay, check it out. So let's recap on what we did on day 23, because listening is very important. Okay, now 100% discipline. So the first thing is you listen, you just get the answers to WH words, the 5 words: what, why, when, how, where. Okay, this is just the first step of listening. Then the second time you listen, what do? You note down the vocabulary or the information in a word map. The third time you listen, you understand the meanings of the word used in the context. Along with that, you're going to look at the meanings into the dictionary or into Google. Okay, so you're getting shades of meanings for the same word. Then the fourth time when you're listening, what are you doing? Now you are with all the understanding of the vocabulary and the shades of meaning in which the speaker is using or has used. You understand whatever is spoken excellently. Now it is flowing, the information is just flowing, no bumps. Yes, it's a smooth road. And now when you're listening to it 5th time, you can understand the difference. You're able to parallelly move with, you're actually not even parallelly, you are actually moving ahead of the speaker, and then making use of whatever you've learned in the same way or in your own style in your everyday activity. And that's what the 5-step of listening, converting a normal listening into an active listening activity. You have to be very careful with what you choose when you're listening something to learn something. Okay. Now these 2 pictures which you're seeing on your screen, this is what happens when you do an active listening activity. The information is in clustered, okay, similar information in similar places. Now you can, this picture 1 is of the kitchen shelves where you put the same things, and you don't put all the pulses into one box. You put it separately because each has got different use, different nutritive value. Now even the flowers, it's easy for you to make a bouquet when you have separate flowers in separate. It's easy for you to recognize each one and then arrange it beautifully in a bouquet. So information is also like this. Beautiful flowers, identifying identical flowers or information or vocabulary in similar clusters, so that you can easily access it when you're making a bouquet. Now here bouquet means bouquet of your information, your speech or your writing. So start right away. Okay, time is very important. We respect ourselves and time. So look at this, time is flowing. We need to flow with it. Not race, we're not in any race, we are racing with ourselves. We are competing with ourselves because every day we want to become better. So give importance to your time and use it the most useful manner so that we become evolved human beings. Yes? So whenever you're listening to anything, any speech or any movie or any video, please keep your notebooks open, the second section, and then create word maps or whatever you do. It's actually, in a visual manner, you are storing what you did each day. It's also a journaling using word maps. So that's another innovative style of collecting information on daily basis. I would love to see your word maps in different contexts whenever you've made it. Please mail it to me on the mail ID mentioned in the description box. Okay, so happy active listening to all of you. So before I see you in my next video, stay home, stay safe and stay calm. Use your time in the most effective manner. Okay. If you've liked the video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and share it with your friends, family, everybody. Thank you for your support.